I've been working on dance projects with kids at Rokeby High School for quite a few years, and my real passion for exposing students at that school to dance is just to give them an opportunity. A lot of high schools offer sort of after-school sports and after-school arts programs, and unfortunately at our school that's not a very strong culture. So kids aren't getting to participate in lots of different activities, and I wanted to give them this opportunity to learn to dance. And we've joined together with numerous schools now. We've joined together with a group of primary schools around us, and we've also joined with Cosgrove High School, which are on the western shore of Hobart, and have a really interesting group of kids. When we bring them together, we have kids that come from a variety of cultures and backgrounds and different home lives. And a great thing about the Suburban Dance Project is that it encourages kids to learn how to socialise and work together, which are the skills that they're going to need in the future for the workforce. Bringing students together from different schools is useful for a variety of reasons. Firstly, we break down these kind of school barriers where there's this unruly competition that can be healthy, but often people are typecast because of the kind of school they go to. So I'm really keen for students to learn not to judge just based on appearances or schools or what suburb they live in. In the Peace Project, we're examining different levels of peace: personal, community and global levels of peace, and what that means for students and what gives them peace and what disturbs or disrupts their peace. For the last few years I've been working with a professional dancer called Nicole Irvine, and our relationship started off very professional. Like, as a school teacher, I was really passionate about bringing in some expertise in the dance area, and she was someone that I thought would do well given her history of community work.
From the last project that Tilley brought me down to Hobart for, which was water, we decided to really stretch a few students in terms of their ability and their level of dance. From the last performance, we selected 8 students, 4 from Rokeby High and 4 from Cosgrove, to challenge themselves in a routine that I would choreograph the next visit.
The 8 team that we call ourselves, it's good. We got chosen to do special dancing with Lamb, more advanced dancing than the other students.
It makes you feel more confident because you actually got chosen to do it, like someone thinks you're good,
To be an A team, it's really good because I get to know them better than the other schools, and to work with people that I never worked with. Because I have worked with a lot of dancers in Teece and kids I dance with, but I haven't danced with them. And it's a good opportunity for me to learn something from them, and they learn something from me. And having a great teacher who's teaching us slam.
The process of selecting the 8 wasn't about who's the best dancer in the room. It was more so finding the students that were most dedicated to getting a place. Most focused, committed to the steps, and those that tried their hardest. You could be the most unco dancer and still get yourself a spot in the 8. It was just depending on how hard you pushed yourself.
We have that feeling that we belong together, and it was a really good choice of us choosing us together. Different schools, we are different school, different personality. So it's an honor to be in the A team.
Yeah, dancing is very good for it just gives me something to take me away from everyday life, and it makes me feel good about myself.
Really fast, yeah, it's really good. It's not like how we would at school, it takes ages. It's just full on, straight up, no messing around. It's awesome.
It's been really good. It really pushes you past your limits because you have to really have to trust other people, and you have to find, a strength in you to make sure that you don't bring other people down when you're working in groups.
Yeah, it's good. I love it. It's awesome. I've never actually done it. It makes me feel like I'm getting it out, because I usually get out by punching the boxing bag or something, but doing this, it actually feels like the same way.
What makes this project special is that it is not an outside choreographer coming in and giving movement and going, okay, go tell my story. This is coming from these kids. They're telling the story. And to find the story, we had a great brainstorming session where we discussed everything that was important to them and what's happening at the moment in their community and on the news. All of these things are important to them. So we want to share their story, and that's what we've done.
Friday, got to pick the music. We made up some steps ourselves. Then Saturday, we started creating it.
We decided on 3 things that revolve around peace and the opposites of peace, and I hope to make a big impact and hopefully change someone's opinion on whether they feel comfortable about themselves.
When I first was asked to come and work with Rokeby High, it was very interesting. Not many of the kids knew how to feel comfortable dancing. So it wasn't that they had any moves. Even the moves that I was giving them, they just weren't comfortable at all. 4 years on, now we're working on a piece with a selected 8 at a level that could tour around Hobart, and we could demonstrate this to high schools and get our point across and tell a story, and it'd also be great to look at visually. These guys have stepped the level up a huge amount, and I cannot wait for you to see the performance.
We decided that we wanted something personal that people could connect with, especially for the schools, which was people being bullied at school and their home life.
I know for a fact that a lot of people have actually suffered from bullying and verbal and physical abuse, and I just don't think it's right. I just want to change that and do anything I can to change the world in that way.
Basically, we talked about what was important about the entire message that we're trying to send about peace. What ties into all of those things is things that everyone experiences, like lack of equality in the world and racism and families being broken up.
I definitely feel the 8 are going to walk away with a certain feeling about themselves, a certain pride. They basically did this themselves. I'm here to guide them and tell them what looks good and what doesn't, and give them movement, but they're the ones with the depth. And I think it's really important for these guys to know that everything that's happened is because of them, and that Tilley, Chloe and myself are super proud of everything that they've done and they've achieved.
My goal was to come up with 5 new moves.
My goal was to try and get better at lifts because I like doing lifts, and I'm allowed to do one. So
I've always kind of depended on myself. And of course, I don't love myself fully because everyone finds faults with themselves, but you come to accept those faults and you just work on bettering yourself every day.
Yeah, just like Fabrice and that he's fit as needing dance. It's like, oh, I wish I was like him, I wish I could dance like him. Because a lot of people like him, sort of thing, like they want to be him. It's like, oh, if I could dance like him, maybe people want to be like me. Yeah.
We're just sharing what peace means to us. Spending time with my dad, because I don't live with my mum, so I never really see her. So it's always me and Dad. We have a daddy-daughter day every weekend. It's on a Saturday. It's really cute. Go out for lunch and go shopping. So that's what I like doing. That's my peace with my dad.
Peace is when, those butterflies you get when you're about to go on stage, or when you see a person you really care about, or peace is just that feeling of absolute content. It's when you and your soul are just connected and happy in that moment.
Peace means to be happy to live your life without having to pretend you're something you're not.
Peace for me is when you're satisfied with what is around you.
Peace personally for me is just people accepting me for who I am, being around family, having a laugh, and just feeling safe.
Peace means to me is more family and no violence and just everyone getting along.
I think peace to me is just being happy in general, music, family, not having any arguments within my family, everyone being just chilled.
We've become really close as a family, the 8 and myself, and it's a really special thing. We're able to discuss any matters that we need to. the guys are gonna probably cop some flack after this. You know, there's some deep issues we touch on. And I think what's been really special about the process is that they have a certain maturity about them, and they know that after this, there could be some negativity coming from the audience, people could talk, you know, hopefully they do talk.
I mean, what we're working for is for the audience to really connect with our message, and it's not our job to judge others.
I actually do get a bit of like judgment towards my dancing being a male, but I've kind of learned to just shrug it off, and it's going to happen, so I'll just put up with it, because I do enjoy dancing more than a lot of things. It's one of my favourite things to do, so I'll put up with it no matter what.
I've been judged a lot, so me judgmental, it's not in my head. Judge me, I really don't care.
So we're taking risks, and the audience may or may not like that, but I think it's really important that they hear it. Whether they like it or not, it doesn't really matter.
Hopefully they'll see the show and just think, well, I guess that's the way life is, and that sometimes people are going to be different to what they think people should be, and hopefully they just learn to accept it and understand a little bit more from the movement that we're giving.
If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
You can be happy and not be at peace. I mean, there are days where I'm happy for a moment, and then something in the back of my mind reminds me of something that's going wrong with my life, or something that shouldn't be a part of it, and you know, you're not at peace. So life is where you're satisfied and content with everything that's going on around you.